All right, all right, all right, all right. We are going live and we are landscape now. For those of you who might be coming over from Instagram, I mean, so far no one's here, but you guys will see this is going to be a better presentation, I think, than on Instagram. It gives me a chance to kind of show the artwork a little bit differently, and I might do something even more different. This is me. I'm taking advantage of the opportunity here to try this different thing. Andres, how you doing? How are you? All right, so this is gonna be a little better because now we can kind of come back with the artwork and I can show it like this. I think this is better. This is way better. But I still need my glasses so I can read because the camera's right under my face. All right. All right, so this is going to be the way you see me from Chile. How are you? How's Chile? Everything going good over there? For you, at least? Let me see. How can I do this a little differently? Let me see. On my channel here. I'm going to go live there. Okay. I need to lower my volume. Okay. So now I'm going to review all of my information on my screen instead. Okay. Daffy, what's up, man? Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. I really do. All right, so I'm going to be going on here. I'm going to start a new drawing. Let's go ahead and christen this particular segment of the Jerkmonger Show with a cool drawing. I think I missed the comment. So I guess I can't see my comments on my larger screen, huh? Let me see. All right. Oh, got it. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Cool. Oh, yeah. Jose, I see you now. All right. I see what's going on here. Gektex, what's up, man? The party's just begun. So, looks like the video quality is a little funky. I don't care about that. It's kind of choppy. I don't like that. It's got to be a better way to do this, right? No, I guess not. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and christen this time with a new subscriber. I got Andres Perkins is checking me out from Chile. Awesome, I appreciate that. I think I'm gonna switch this over a little bit more. Now that I can see you guys talking, I can actually take this a little higher and kind of give you guys a better view. What did I just do? I switched it around. Give you guys a better view of the artwork than usual, right? So I don't have to be right in my face. I can draw it more like this. All right, cool. So Darren or Daffy, I appreciate you, brother. Thanks so much for coming by. All right, so here we go. You guys, since I have about 8 of you here, I need a suggestion for some sort of awesome. Give me a suggestion for, you guys vote for what I'm going to draw. And from there, that item will become the giveaway. I'm going to do a giveaway to someone on the show while we're going on. If you're interested, awesome. Rock and roll. Oh snap! Oh snap! Look who it is. All right, so I'm assuming Batman's like still the thing, right? You guys still digging Batman? I don't like how this thing kind of hangs over here. I'm going to switch this over a little bit more. I might have to switch to a different setup next time. Galactus. All right. Is this you, Mike? Is that you? Galactus again? Dang. Dang. Well, I'm gonna need some reference for Galactus. Hokey smokies. All right. I got two for Galactus. What else we got? Batman Beyond. Oh, Liam Sinclair. Right on, Mike. All right, all right. Noble wants some Batman Beyond. Okay, all righty. I think we're gonna, maybe we'll do a little bit of everything tonight. I'm just suggesting Wolverine. Berserker Barrage. All right, let's try, here, I'm gonna write a little list on my card here. Actually, where's my little tablet deal? Oh, please. All right. The tools I'll be using tonight, I'm sure someone's going to ask, so I'm going to answer the question up front. But first, I'll run the list here. We have Galactus. Galactus. We have Batman Beyond. We have, who else do we have? We have Joker, it looks like. Rampage, The Rock from Rampage. Let's see, Batman Beyond. What did we say? Link. Joker. Who else? Let me see. Wolverine, okay. All right, anybody else? All right. A Sentinel from X-Men? And Summoner. All right, we're going to start the list there. I think somebody just said regular Batman too. All right. All right, so the tools I'll be using tonight, we're going to be using my Pentel graph gear pencils. Oops. We're going to be using probably the Prismacolor Cold Erase. And we're also going to be using my Canson manga or comic board, which is the paper I'm using. I'm also going to be using probably my Pentel, if I get to ink this, Pentel brush pen, pocket brush pen. All right. So that's those for those of you who are going to ask those questions. I know I'm going to get them. I'll just be grabbing this and pulling out to show everybody what I'm doing with it, and then you guys can go from there. Pocket, or even the regular ones also. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put this to the side over here. So whenever somebody asks me, I'm just going to whip it out, and you guys can read it, and then I'll put it back because it gets kind of crazy. All right. So going with that, I'm going to start off this whole mess. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a giant collage thing with all these characters in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see what I do. Let's see what I can do. So I'm going to keep, I might not use the ink after all. You know who's going to be in the center. Interestingly, I only got a couple of characters that were different. Put the list under the board with it showing. You want to see it? You want to see it? I can't draw with it together. I only have so much distance here. I don't know if it's gonna work. I wish I had like a little smaller thing. Okay, we'll see. Should I raise this up a little further? Did that help? But then you won't see the art very well. I'll leave it up to you guys. Here's my list. We'll do that. We'll do that for now. That's annoying as hell. Let's do that for now. I guess you can see everything there. All right, that works. All right, so we're going old school. This is like guerrilla graphic stuff here. All right. Perrito de la Pradera. Snotty Snot, what's going on, girl? CG. Now this is interesting. Is it? Is it interesting? Different format. All right. Only downside is I don't have any music that I can play in the background that isn't copyright infringement issues, and I don't want to be that guy for YouTube. So we're going to make sure we're going to comply, and we're going to keep it rolling properly. And let's see. All right. So as we go along, I wish I had somehow a way to get some kind of notification that you guys are speaking to me through here, but we're going to keep it as is for now. Okay, so there's a little bit of Batman. Yeah, I'm not sure how live works, but maybe you can put the tools you're going to use in the heading. Yeah, I guess I could do that. I could do that. You're right. You're right. But that seems like a lot of data for a heading. At least you guys can see the artwork. It's all good. Maybe I'll put it to the side so it'll look fancy, like it's on some sort of computer screen or something. Fancy. It'll be fancy. By the way, it's Prairie Dog, nothing dirty. All right. That's funny. Okay, so my Spanish is limited, girl. I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to go with a sassy Batman. He's giving you the side look. Have you ever heard me refer to Batman as sassy? Well, you just did. He's very sassy. And you're watching Winter Soldier. Okay. Bam. So really there's nothing different for what I'm doing here as I'm doing anywhere else. We're just kind of going through this process of me drawing things and getting out to a wider audience if possible, and try hopefully, bring some more jerkmonger flavor to the world beyond Instagram. And I'd like to do that. So we'll see. So he's going to be the Batman Beyond. I don't know if you guys see that or not. And how do I make Batman Beyond different from Batman? That's going to be an interesting question. I know that he looks different enough, but I want to be able to sketch him in such a way where he's clearly who he's supposed to be. All right. If you guys are digging this video, go ahead and give it a like or a thumbs up or what have you. Let's see how that affects things as we move along. His ears curve back. Does it? I don't know if they curve back. I have a statue over there. Maybe they're taller. Let's do that. My wife was super cool to hook me up with a giant glass or cup of water. So I'll be drinking that tonight. Over here, we'll put the crazy clown. You guys think I should keep this down to these 3 characters for now? I wonder if I add other characters, it'll just get weird, Okay, there you go. So we're going to settle on those characters then. We're going to get rid of this. I'm tired of looking at it. Oh, I'm thinking that I am doing me. I don't want to do all the characters in one. Maybe we'll do something else with Galactus. It's Galactus and... Well, I want to draw Wolverine too, so we'll get to him in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and... I'm also going to be posting other content. I'm going to be recording other videos and posting them here as well. So it's not just going to be the live stuff. I will still broadcast to everybody on Instagram. I'll start off the whole thing on Instagram, and then we'll just transition over here. But I'll also be posting some of the videos that I've posted in the past that maybe you guys didn't catch while I was doing the live Instagram sessions. We'll post them over here. I'm going to have to edit those for the content because of some of the music that I use. But suffice it to say that there'll still be times where we'll just have like an exclusive time on Instagram. But I really want to build this out with you guys and build a community here on YouTube as well. I am going to do that. From now on, all my commissions are going to be drawn here. That's absolutely right, Gek. Let's keep it all the same here with Batman, Joker, and beyond. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm doing. And this is really a terrible drawing, but it'll work. It'll work. You guys can barely see it, I'm sure. I can barely see it, so let's go ahead and commit. Like I always say, let's go ahead and commit, and we're going to go ahead and kill this. Let's go ahead and grab the this pencil here. I'm going to start with the Joker because he needs the most work. If you guys have suggestions with sounds that I can use here, please, by all means, bring it to me. Send me a message, private message me or what have you. Or on the bottom of this, if this records and stays here, let me know. You sure? That way, we can still have something kind of going. I hate dead space. However, I'll do my best to talk through it. I just talk too much sometimes, right? You guys don't need me talking that much. But it gives me a chance to talk through my process a little differently with you guys. And that's really kind of the key. Getting to a position, to a point, or moving into a position where this can become more functional as an educational tool for those of you who are interested in the education of drawing or art and comic art or what have you, or any kind of art. I'll also be doing some of my paintings. So this is going to be really exciting. Moving to this. And I also like this jazzy hip hop. Okay, I gotta write that down. Jazzy hip hop instrumental. I wonder if that's something I can play while I'm drawing. It's more on the live stuff. I'll add them to the recorded video, but it's the live stuff. All right, so my Joker's already a little lame. I'll tell you why. Because he needs to be a little more crazy. I don't know, can I zoom in on here? Oh, I sure can. All right, there we go. He needs to be a little crazier, and so I'm going to make sure he is. And the best way to go crazier with a Batman drawing is to open up his eyes more, or a Joker drawing, I should say, is to open up his eyes more. So his eyes look too calm, too passive. Let's open up his lids so that he's giving you a wild glare. That's kind of my secret sauce to Joker. If you can get that squared away, you are in business. Because that's kind of like the gateway into his personality. Yeah, I'm aware of some of the playlists too. I've experimented with some of that in the past, but I've never really committed this much. So we're diving deep, both feet, doing it up. And then also the grin has to be substantial. So let's adjust this again. Maybe his nose is too passive. So it's funny how I gotta work on this a little bit. What's going on, Mr. Campbell? How are you? Vimy Jim Apparel. That's kind of what I grew up on, man. My Batman was from that era. it's funny because I really liked Jim Aparo. For a long time, I felt like he was like a poor man's, and he may be the poor man's Neil Adams, but I really dug it. And Jose Luis Garcia Lopez was my other favorite Batman Joker combination. I have this record. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I have this record that I keep. Right on, Mr. Campbell. Appreciate it. It's the old Power Records Batman, and where he meets Sherlock Holmes as a ghost, or and he fights Grodd the super gorilla. Anyway, I don't know who drew that. I think it was Giordano. I think Giordano. Captain Lightbox. What does that mean? All right, so I'm kind of widening out his smile a lot. Really going crazy here. Really going for a more a different type of Joker face, right? So a different type of smile from what you would normally get. You got to open up the grin. You've got to even include sometimes. I've seen people that smile that have this weird like cheeky thing where their lips are wider than or larger than their they expand a little bit within the cheeks. It's just this odd thing. First is here. There's a trailer that I see Batman versus Joker in old Japan. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's gonna be dope. All his commissions are lightbox work of his old stuff. No kidding. No kidding, Jose. Huh. I did not know that. Anyway, yeah, that Japanese thing. I was when I went to see Black Panther, I went to see by myself, and I sat next to this gentleman, really cool dude, nice man. He didn't get to know him very well. I didn't even get his name, but anyway, he it's just when you're sitting next to someone in a theater and he's by himself and I'm by myself, you're gonna have the conversation. So we started talking, and he's asking about have you heard about this new Japanese Batman? And I think he was Japanese because he seemed very really interested in it. And anyway, we started talking, and so I said, well, hey, wait a second, I have it right here. So I went and grabbed my phone, pulled it up on YouTube, and sure enough, man, we had a blast just watching that thing, cracking up about how cool it would be, and he was excited. A new subscriber, Ben, how are you? Thank you very much. Oh, I grabbed the wrong pencil. That's all right. You can see why I'm a little tentative with this pencil. It just I feel like I can't try anything new. I feel like I'm feels like I'm drawn with a Sharpie. The Joker has the same jaw opening as a T-Rex. Yeah, that's about right. I'll take that. I'm gonna switch over to this Prismacolor, guys, because I enjoy it. All right. Yeah, man, that's gonna be so good, so good. I can't wait. I thought it was supposed to be released in theaters, but then I saw it's gonna be released digitally. Are they gonna do a theater opening and then kind of move into that? Here, I'm just gonna knock this down again. Just a little bit. 'Tony Clark says, follow you on Insta. Just saw this on there. You got a new follower. Right on, Tony. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's dope, man. Thank you very much. So for that effort, so I'm going to be doing this art I'm working on right here. I'm going to do a giveaway for. Also, does anybody know how is there a cap on time here on YouTube as far as live? Like Instagram has an hour. Is there a cap on YouTube? And if so, does anybody know what the time is, the limitation? I'm going to bring his eye in a little bit. This is actually really cool, man. I'm actually able to see the drawing now and also see the comments because I'm watching it on my mobile studio. So I'm able to answer people and not have to be choked out by this camera gooseneck thing. some of the lives I watch on YouTube goes on for hours. Oh man. Okay, good. That's great news. That means we can keep going without having to stop, and I can do longer videos and what have you. Do I entertain? All right, so if you guys have any questions about anything, man, feel free to ask. That's the whole point of this, is to get people talking, get people interested in what not just the work I'm working on, but in this kind of work. So if you are a budding artist and you feel like you have some questions that you need to be clarified, please, by all means. That's why I'm putting the time into this. It gives me an angle for all of that, and you guys get some good times. This might be a good opportunity for me to also talk to you guys. Did you see the Black Panther? Yes, I did. I did see it. I did a live stream with Mind of Watercolor that went for about 1.5 hours. All right on, man. Is that your channel? Or is that just a guest? This is kind of cool too, because I also want to do reviews, and this is where I really want to stick my reviews. I'm going to do some reviews on Instagram in my stories, but I'm also going to have it here. How about we go with a different kind of Joker? What if we went with a little bit of a I was a guest there. Right on. All right. Well, we gotta talk about that sometime, Mr. Campbell. How to do that here. What if we did a Joker that was a little more sickly looking, right? So we're going to darken up his eyes a little bit here, and we're going to make him look a little more like he's not healthy. This guy needs help. Okay? And we can do that by giving his eyes a little bit of, they already have the glare, they're already wide open, but when we do the lids, we can do that little trick. Let me see if I have a piece of paper here extra. I do. Yeah, I want to do like all kinds of reviews. I want to do like book reviews, toy reviews, art reviews. What are your thoughts on Katsuhiro Otomo? Ooh, what are my thoughts on Katsuhiro Otomo? What are my thoughts on Katsuhiro Otomo? You mean this Katsuhiro Otomo? You mean all 6 volumes? I'm not going to bring all 6 volumes out. I love Katsuhiro Otomo, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm a little intimidated by him. Anyway, so back to the eyes. I love the work. Question: what piece of advice would you give a young person who wants to draw like me? Well, that's a tricky question, because nobody wants to hear my response. And that is because my response is typically driven by the concept of the 10,000 hour principle. I really believe that the time that it takes for anyone to improve is, or I should say, the improvement of anyone who wants to improve is directly related to the time they put into the work. And so if you don't put in the time, there's no way you can improve. I've been having this wrestling match with my children this weekend, for example, and I love them to they're my heart and soul. I love them with all my heart. I've not always been a great dad and whatever, but I love them. Anyway, one of the things that has been a struggle I'm trying to teach them is that you can't get better at something if you just do it once and think you're going to be successful. And whether it's being better at practicing a sport, being better at cleaning your room, whatever it is, you just got to do it. And that's the first and most important piece of advice I can give anyone. Great inspiration as an artist. He's fantastic, Otomo, but the problem is that he's such, as far as like following him, I will refer to him often in style. I'm literally getting a phone call there. That's weird. I'll get I'll try to look at his work to when I'm doing something like my Jerkmonger strip, that's when I'll look at his stuff, and I'll get ideas, but I cannot. My whole goal in my Jerkmonger strip is to tell a story quickly and make that work for me. Anyway, so this is kind of what I'm saying. When you do when you do an illustration with someone, you want to give them just, it can work with anybody, but this is a very classic movie monster technique. You can kind of get a little shading in here in the eyelid, and that will go 1,000 miles for making someone look a little sick, a little creepy. Here, let me darken it up for you guys. And this really helps you sell the idea of someone. It's either sick or it's creepy or they're delusional or crazed, like they've not been sleeping very well. It's the idea of like that perspiration that happens on your face, that it's not quite drops of sweat, but it's actually very, it's like a weird, like a sheen on your eyelids. You ever see people when they're sick and they have like a sheen on their eyelids, or they've been sweating in their sleep? And sometimes you might do that. You rub your eyes. Thank you for the answer. It was spot on. Well, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. Jose, are you excited for Incredibles 2? Oh, man. Really pretty excited, man. Really pretty excited for that. Anyway, so this is a cool little trick that I learned in Art Vietnam. I shouldn't say things like that, right? Because that's like an old reference. Nobody gets it. They're going to think I'm racist. Anyway, it's a joke from old times. But that helps to sell the idea of the crazed look, you know? Anyway, so that's what I'm trying to do here with the Joker, is give him that sickly look. So he's also going to have some lips. You got to go some lips, but I like to give him, not the Heath Ledger scars, but the little bit of a wrinkle on the face, just to make him look like he's. I don't like making Joker handsome. That's probably the one thing I liked about the Jared Leto. If there's one thing I can compliment that interpretation, it's on the fact that his version of Joker is pretty ugly. Gotta say, he's not handsome at all. But nor should he be. He's just not very long. I like Joker's face to be long and twisted a little more. Getting flashbacks from Art now. Oh, that's funny, man. Yeah, it's probably not an appropriate use of terminology anymore. Okay, so again, you can keep this up all night, but I want to try to move forward with this piece. So this is my inaugural night on YouTube. What do you guys say so far? Can you see it? You feeling it? You didn't have to retract it, man. Dope. Okay, cool. I'm just saying, going forward, I probably won't make those silly things. I lose my filter sometimes depending on who I'm hanging out with, so I apologize up front. I like giving him a little bit of a gap in the teeth too. How about that? That makes him look creepy. Don't know why. I have plenty. I used to have a gap in my teeth too until the army fixed it or changed it, but not that it needs fixing. What do you guys think about? Again, I'm watching that show, Altered Carbon. Do you guys see that guy that used to be Max Headroom on there? Can't believe that guy. He's still doing his thing. All right, so pretty cool. So what I'm going to do with Joker here, what I was going to say earlier was I want to give him a little bit of a modern, maybe punk thing where his hair is more spiky. But I'm going to still give him the tie. Or should I? What would be a good outfit for him? I'll let you guys help me with this. I feel it's insensitive, so just to be safe. Maybe, right? These days, no, I'm with you. I don't know what to say anymore. I literally don't know what to say. All right, so this is pretty dope Joker. at least his face. Devante 1977 says, he says, shake weight with bow tie, says Michael Pritchard. What's up, Mike? How are you, man? Good show. Hope it gets another season. They will have to do a new lead actor with which. Wait. Stop. No, take that away. I'm not going to read anymore. And you're interested in Art Crumb, Jack Davis, or Jack Kirby? Campbell, I'm all about Jack Kirby. Love Jack Davis. Kirby was one of my, it's currently one of my biggest inspirations. Not necessarily from an art perspective, although he has had some impact on me late in the last few years, or last 5 or 6 years, I should say, maybe 10 years. But and especially in the way he thinks. Joker. Jack Kirby is his mind was sublime, and but he was a little crazy. He was a little touched, and so it kind of serves to reason that maybe that's why I like him so much. And that's why he's had such a big impact on me for my comic, Jerkmonger. Jack Davis, again, one of my favorite artists because of his ability to do his the caricatures, and I was a big fan of that. Mad Magazine had also a huge impact on me. And as far as who is the third here? R. Crumb. R. Crumb I could never get into, and I still can't. I appreciate him from a certain place, but R. Crumb, he's too indie for me. He's too out there. Style. I'm big on drafting, so I'm really interested in someone's art if it appeals to me personally, and also in the way I draw. And R. Crumb just doesn't do it for me. There's other kinds of work in that kind of vein that I think is more useful to me. And so I don't know what's that's it, I guess. But the other guys, Jack Davis had an impact also on guys like J. Scott Campbell, if you notice. He had his thing there too. Okay, so that's an interesting Joker. Let's move over to Batman Beyond. And I wish now that I had another way to look at how can I do this easy enough? I want to scan I need another window. Hold please while I get my reference window out. Okay, I'm going to try to magically make this happen on my screen. Unfortunately, it's a really small screen, so I'm not going to be able to see all the character. Forget it. I think I'll just do something else. You know what? I don't really have to see the... Oh, maybe I can scroll down for that. Oh, there we go. You understand about R. Crumb? He was unrefined, too many lines, if you will. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I respect him as an artist, but at the same time, I feel like it's just... Again, I can respect his craft, rather, but it's just difficult for me to wrap my head around how he would draw anything. And so, just for me, it's a little bit difficult to buy into it. All right, so am I doing a Batman Beyond that's more classic, or am I doing a Batman Beyond that... Proton, what's up, dog? Am I doing a Batman Beyond that's a little more mechanical or inspired by the current Batman Beyond? You guys, what do you guys say? I feel like there's a couple of ways to go with that. I'm probably gonna do a little combination of both. The good news is I feel like I have about the same amount of people on average watching right now. So I appreciate all of you guys visiting, hanging out. If you guys want to chill a little more, it'll be awesome as well. Tony says a combo of both. Okay. Let me see if I can. Oh, that's not useful. Let me get a better image. Because I like the way that Chang did his interpretation of. Why did it go there? That's interesting. I don't know what's going on with this view saved. Anyway, is this gonna help? Open image in new tab. There we go. That's interesting. He's got these cool lines. Is that a? I don't follow the comic. Is that a different? He's got. I like the idea though. He's got these more like Spider-Man eyes almost. Very curious about this design. Very cool. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let me see how I do this. Let me see if I can pull off some magic here. Maybe he's missing, he's got some shadows here in this part of his face. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, I think I definitely want to try also to do some other types of reviews on here, like art book reviews. So if you guys are interested in that sort of material, that content, you let me know. I mean, I'm going to do them anyway, but if you have like a specific, because this is mainly, I really want to gear this channel to do my commissions, but primarily to, and providing that as like a source for content, but also, hey man, from time to time I'm going to have art supplies. I'm kind of working something out with someone I can't really talk about right now because it's not definite yet. But there's some conversation I'm having with another producer, one of the products I use to do some reviews. So I'm hoping that that will open up some doors and give you guys some insights and some new products and new ways to approach your work. MD has to run. I appreciate you, brother. I got a great live gig tonight. I really enjoyed it. The work is coming along sweetly. Nice work, and thank you. Cheers. All right, right on, man. 1 hour time limit is a bummer. It's true. It's true. I was gonna move my time streams to YouTube. How you like it? I like it so far, Proton. I just my first new one. Darren says I'm here with you, brother. Okay. Crushing on some ice. All right, so anyway, so I'm hoping that you guys will get some greater benefit from even the time you can spend together here. And instead of me doing it, starting it, redoing it, starting it again on Instagram, we can just keep it moving. David Spurlock, how are you? David, good to see you again. Haven't been able to watch since Twitch. Right on. Well, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. The water sounds good. Not gonna lie. It's a little loud, right? It's a little overwhelming, that sound of the water. My gosh, it's funny. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. All right. I'm going to create some graphic shapes that will help propel the concept of Batman Beyond this way. Joker is definitely kind of overreaching here. I'm going to take this off because it's giving the illusion that he's got a collar on. And I don't want that. I just want him to kind of like blend into the rest of the illustration. All right, so just kind of reviewing where I'm at here. Let's go ahead and give some proper attention to the Dark Knight. I'm actually going to do something a little different with him. Let's go ahead and, since I already drawn these two characters down below, and maybe I can draw his hand here to kind of take up some of that negative space. Let's consider something a little interesting. Let's go with the larger Batman on top, okay? Let's go with the larger Batman on top, and let's explore that as an option to really give this a better feel. Oops, you guys didn't even see what I did. I probably should zoom out. I probably should zoom out now, actually, because I'm not going to see a lot of what's going on. Mike says, so what have you been working on? Interiors? Hitting the convention circuit? I've been doing conventions, brother, and I kind of backed away from interiors, man. I found that interiors didn't provide for me what I needed to take care of my family, so I backed away to a great degree. I still like to do covers, but it's just like anything else. I feel like I'm not getting, unless you're committed to doing interiors, it's hard to get a lot of work. So I had to make some choices. That's all. That's a little too large. Yeah, gotta do what suits me. Yeah, yeah, I guess that's the proper way to put it. I mean, it wasn't for lack of trying and opportunities. It was more about, it doesn't pay very well, and so I had to kind of find and create better opportunities for myself. And for some people it's perfectly fine, and I'm glad for that. Especially young artists who have the low overhead, if you will, of life. But when you're having, you have kids and car payments and house payments, rent, whatever you want to call it, if you're not careful, that thing can become very consuming. And it's very alluring, right? Everybody, the allure of working in comics is a pseudo fame, pseudo, like, oh, you could be this guy. And that's only matters to those of us who are in this industry. And unfortunately, it doesn't always come with reciprocating, pay scale or whatever. And it's necessary too, by the way, because it's expensive, man. The comic process is not cheap. So getting some of that business can be challenging. There's a lot of people fighting for the same jobs. Finally getting that job at DC is not necessarily a how should I say, commentary on your quality at all, as it is that there's already someone occupying that slot in that book, and while they want a large pool of artists to keep their how do you say this, schedule moving. Sometimes it's not feasible. Not everyone can work at the same time. So unless you're willing to work for smaller jobs and gigs with companies that don't have the same budget as DC or Marvel, and then you know what's going to happen, essentially. But it's not to say that it wasn't a good time, and I certainly had a great time doing it. I am going to still work on my stuff though, so I'll be producing something I'm going to be launching on Webtoon soon. Come with a lot of stress and a lot of pay in return, unless you're a big name already. Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's going to get harder to become big names. It's funny, if you look at the landscape right now, the big names that everybody talks about, there's very few new ones. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I feel like a lot of the older guys that have had jobs for a while are still the big names, since the 90s and early 2000s. So it is getting very aggressive as far as competition. So good luck to all you guys who are trying to get that kind of job at those companies. And I mean that sincerely. I hope I wish well to all of you guys. All right, so we're gonna go with something like this. Right on, man. Thank you very much, Mike. Ah, love it. Love it. I love the sound of water. It's wonderful. All right, so I'm going to actually tighten this mouth up a little bit because it looks like he's got a crazy... Is he talking? I don't know. Maybe I should just get rid of that. I'm not sure. All right, so you can kind of see kind of where my head's at with this, what I was trying to achieve. Does that make sense to you guys? Can you see that? All right, so I'm going to have to adjust the space a little bit because I feel like I'm not utilizing my area very well. All right, so let's go ahead and grab a tool to ink with. I'm going to go ahead and snag my Pentel. Maybe I'll grab this instead. And we're going to start like I started the illustration with Joker. Primarily because he's on the left side and I'm right-handed, so it gives me an opportunity to ink over an area of the illustration that's not going to be interrupted while it dries. Make sense? I want to keep pushing my hand on top of wet ink and potentially smear it. So even if the paper is good, no matter how good the paper is, no matter how fast the ink dries, if your hand's on the same spot while it's drying, it's going to get messed up. So it is what it is. There's another trick I want to try with his eyes that I like to do. I'm going to put on my glasses. I can't see very well. All right, here we go. Do you guys want to zoom in on this? Let's do that, so you guys can get a fuller shot of what I'm doing. I want you guys to see it. I want you guys to ask questions. Don't be afraid. I will try my best to answer all that I can as long as I see them popping up on my screen here. And if I don't see them, please forgive me. I'm not trying to ignore you. I might get all caught up in the art. And it is what it is. Chaz Lee, live on YouTube. That's right. That's right. It's live, dog. It's live. Da, 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 da. This Joker's got a funky face. Not my favorite of my drawings, but it'll work. Sometimes a drawing is what it is. You gotta keep moving. Keep on moving. Don't stop. No. Darren says, "Are you going to add a background theme?" I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I think for a giveaway, I'd rather reserve that time for commissions. I still have commissions to do, and like I said, I'm going to start moving my commission process stuff to here on YouTube. So if you guys are interested, and if you guys want to see what this is all about, you have plenty of stuff here, and hopefully I'll be able to save all my videos on here and keep it moving. Yeah, I'm really grateful to some of I don't know if anybody's here that does YouTube videos, but I'm really grateful to the format of YouTube, and some of the guys on here and gals that do the videos that I really rely on. Crazy ain't got a set look. Oh, what does that mean? I don't understand that. Pritchard says, so what are some of the cons you'll be hitting this year? I'm still entertaining Heroes Con. I'm keeping everything local, Mike. I tried to expand last year. I even tried to expand this year, to be honest. I had an opportunity to go to San Diego. I could not go, and I was not able selected again this year. So, I think that was the show that I wanted to do. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. So, I think I'm keeping it local. Heroes is probably the most northern show I'll do besides New York Comic Con. Besides that, I'm looking at possibly. I'm definitely doing SuperCon. They allowed me to hang out there in the guest area at SuperCon this year. I'm trying to get into MegaCon. MegaCon is still a local show for me, even though it's in Orlando and I live in Tampa. It's still local enough for me to give it a spin. TampaCon, of course, I like to do, or I'm expecting to do that. And yeah, that's kind of where my head is at. Yeah, just a few shows, nothing too heavy. I feel like I have a lot of shows at the end of the year though. Um, I have a couple of. I feel like I planned for something else, but I can't remember. What are you doing? Are you doing any shows this year? Are you gonna attend, exhibit? What's going on with you? What's going on in your life, man? You can see I'm kind of drawing right with the brush. Black and white color comics and manga. What do you mean by that, Noble? That's a curious statement. See, I'm kidding. I'm kind of falling in love with the crazy face on him. I'm digging some of what I see. I want to erase this pupil real quick so you guys can see what I mean. That's creepy. That's psychotic looking. That's weird. So right around here at the mouth, you'll notice that the lip comes down and it doesn't necessarily, you don't get a lot of, because it's supposed to be wrapping along the edge of the chin or the front of the chin, you're not supposed to get a lot of shadow underneath the lip. So if you tend to do that, you're probably going to have a weird situation. I think I even went a little too dark here. So it's probably nice to have a little bit of just a line to indicate that there's a lip there, a lip line underneath the lip. But don't go crazy because then it looks like the lip is protruding unnaturally from the face. Mike says, not too much, just working on the regular job, hiking, drawing here and there, trying to get to St. Louis for con, taping with a buddy. Right on, man. Other than that, trying to figure out how to reverse gray hair. Let me know, man. I got a beard full of it. Let's talk about the different aspects that go into each one. Black and white color comics, and okay, the different aspects that go into each one. What are your thoughts, your questions on that? What do you want to bring up? Obviously, there's a process adjustment for that, right? Do this a little weird. Just got a little wonky on me. We'll go back to that later with white. He's not a vampire, but he might. But he's got teeth like me. I tend to draw teeth like I have them. I have a little bit of a fang problem. So black and white. Okay. Let me give you my take on black and white versus or along with. the different aspects of color black and white that we can talk about, I think, have more to do with the way that you approach the finished product. I think when you have a colored piece, you can do a lot. I mean, let's face it, a lot of people like just black and white art. And that's I mean, obviously people that collect my work like my black and white art, and some people like my painted and colored work. Comic wise though, there's an approach you got to you have to be thoughtful about your approach as it relates to some of this, because there's a clarity issue that I think a lot of artists don't take into consideration. And by clarity, I mean that it's just like inking. Inking is designed, I don't know if you guys know this or not. It's unfortunate because the art of inking has been kind of lost in modern comics. I feel like there's a beautiful thing about black and white that you can get from just, how should I say, what am I trying to say about that? There's something beautiful about the contrast, and I think it's because of contrast. Contrast is what you need for everything. That's where beauty comes from. Beauty doesn't come from just like a pretty face. It's the contrast of shapes against smooth, rough against smooth, fat to skinny, tall to short. All those different things create differences that the human brain, the human mind detects as interesting. A good friend of mine said it this way. He said that my work, not my work alone, is the way I work with this stuff. For example, and compare it to some of the image styles that clearly have influenced me over the years. I grew up, in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, but when I started to draw comics, it was around the 90s, and so some of that has kind of, stuck in my work. What makes it interesting, I think, in general, is that this black and white shapes, these hatch lines and these brush lines and these feathering lines, all this stuff kind of lends itself to this idea of music, rhythm. And it's this rhythm in the work that provides beauty. It's the reason why some people like hip hop, some people like rock and roll. It's in the rhythm. It's in R&B. In blues, in all the different types of music, it's the beats, it's the rhythms, it's the things that make you want to dance to it if it's a dance worthy music, or in the case of classical, sometimes it's the way that a score shifts from something really somber to something really beautiful and exciting and fun and that sort of thing. So the concept, and I really believe this, the idea of beauty is wrapped up in the idea of contrast. So there are some styles, when used properly in black and white, don't need color because they rely on that idea of beauty through the use of the black and white. It's one of the reasons why I gravitate towards chiaroscuro. There's different team members that color often know. Also, there's a halftone which can be used to give values as well as pencils. That's true. These right here, these little hatch lines and all these little feathering things I do, that's a form of halftone as well. So yeah, there's that. And then there's these lines that are called, and these are normally called, a friend of mine once called it a hot style. This is a hot look, hot style, not hot as in fashion, hot as in it's a warmer style because there's a lot more black being used, a lot more feathering. It's just feels warmer. Then there's a cold style, which is more like, let's see what I have here. I can show you. I think he's down here. Yeah. This artist I love too, Asaf Hanukkah and Tomer Hanukkah, but this stuff right here is what we might consider a colder style. It's very, very open. If it was not colored, there'd just be a bunch of thin lines everywhere. Very little in the way of distinction between something in the foreground and the background. So what it relies on is color. And if you don't have color with this style, it makes it difficult to read. Even though it's fun, they're nice drawings, it makes it difficult to read. So when I use black in my work, or you see that kind of thing, that's when you have a more, I'm creating some of those, the illusion of color with black. Now, to your point specifically, Noble, about the people that work on that, yeah, there's technically, under normal circumstances, to keep the American um, conveyor belt method going, there's usually a colorist, a penciler, an inker, and a colorist. The process in that regard relies on the ability of any one of those people to do more or less. So, in other words, some artists like to draw and also color and also ink their work. And so, and that's just a matter of, and why would you do all three parts? Well, you get paid for all three parts. And so you make a lot more money. But what it has done, though, is it's created some problems, though, because um, I think it creates problems in the long run with deadlines. Because now an artist is trying to make more money because he's not making enough money to do it. Again, no fault of the industry. It's just the nature of the beast. And they put their effort into that, and it creates problems, I think, in scheduling. It has to, right? Because when I used to be an art director, and I worked along with an art manager, there was a lot of conversation about whether, with whatever look and technique we would use, how is this going to get done? Sometimes a graphic had to be completed by another artist because the first artist couldn't, had a vision for part of it, but couldn't figure out the rest of it. And so, or the vision was coming too slow, really, frankly. And sometimes you get people that are really good at problem solving. So a person who's focused on coloring may give more attention to the color, and that becomes their expertise. They're going to have a lot more to contribute in that case. But that's not to say that a person that pencils, like I color my own work as well from time to time. It's also something that I don't do in the case of a comic interiors, because it's just too much work. I could barely pull off, in the deadlines I was getting, I could barely pull off pencils and inks. So, and again, it's just the nature of the beast. It's no conspiracy. There's no one trying to keep you down. It's just the way that business works. What's up, Zion Noix? Zion Noix. So halftones are a kind of a for that open style I was just showing you, that more cold style. Halftones can be done in that case a little more effective. They help those kinds of art styles a lot more, and that's usually in the hands of either the manga artist. And you can see them if you look at any videos or interviews with I tend not to, because I don't speak Japanese and it's always difficult to. Shion, okay, Shion, you got it. I like Zion though, I'm not gonna lie. You'll see that they'll use, especially like in manga books, you'll see them use a lot of halftones. What they're using is it's actually called Zipatone. And the reason why the Zipatone works is it kind of warms up that cold style, doesn't it? If you think about it in terms of hot and cold temperature, you have the really cold, empty look, and then you have this warmer, fuller design or style. It kind of falls into that category. So so you can see what I'm doing here. All these cool little pieces help to fill out the illustration, and it almost makes it more cozy, right? The more lines, the more cozy it is in some cases. Sometimes not. Sometimes it just becomes a mess, and that's what you kind of have to contend with. But the Zipatone's a good balance because it brings you an opportunity to bring some of that warmth without going crazy with all these extra lines that I'm drawing or I'm inking. So that's a big deal in manga in particular. You don't see it a lot in American comics anymore. They used to be a big deal in the 70s and the early 80s. That was a tool that a lot of artists used. All right, so you see kind of how this is coming along. He's got that crazy look in his eyes. I love it. I love it. All right, so we're kind of... As I said, guys, if you guys stick around to the end, I'm going to have to do it that way because I can't remember everybody that was on here. But if you stick around to the end, when I'm done, you want to pop back in, whatever. If you can't stick around too long, I'm going to be giving this away to the people that are still on the chat before the end of the or at least will comment later. You're drawing with a brush pen. Yes, I am. Pentel Pocket brush pen. Hold on. Where did my sign go? Tools tonight are Graph Gear pencil, Prismacolor Col-Erase, Canson manga comic board, and also Pentel Pocket brush pen or the regular brush pens. You like the metaphor with temperature? Yeah, a friend of mine told me that a long time ago, and I thought, wow, that's a great way to put it, because it really explains in a way that there's the usefulness of either of these things, you know. So hot makes sense because, or warm because you're feeling. It's like. So we just passed. We didn't just pass. Gosh, it's already been almost 2 months now since Christmas. But anyway, Christmas time is one of my favorite times of the year because it's cold and people get to decorate. They fill their house with trees and holly and all kinds of cool stuff, and your house feels more cozy. It feels a little more warm and like a home. Whereas it's not as like an industrial design, something designed in Germany for an apartment, you know, where you have clean lines, everything's clean and very open, and you might say it's cold or masculine. And it's, again, warm is more feminine. That's another thing to consider. You know, these are all just, none of these things are like hard and fast rules about anything in particular, as it is more of like an opinion and the way that I kind of view the artwork anymore. Admittedly, that's not my original idea, but I feel like it does answer the question best. How is your setup done for recording? Do you use? Yeah, I'm using my cell phone. It's an easy way to do it, so I'm going to use it, and I'm going to keep it going. Chris Davis, what's up, man? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. First says, the Joker's design has changed so much. He used to be really tall and really big, and same for Batman, but now Joker has gotten smaller and Batman has to be. He is still tall, but not as big as he was. I think that depends on the artist, man. I don't know. I don't think that's not necessarily a definite concept. Shion says, have you ever done drawing on Twitch, Mr.? I have done drawing on Twitch. I have in the past. I don't know that I don't understand how to make Twitch work for me. So I've chosen YouTube as my center for video. Digging the Joker. Oh, snap. Okay, so all right. So this week has been a little bit slow for me, guys. I apologize. I have not been as productive on my commissions because I've been really focusing on building out my Patreon and getting that squared away. I'm going to be putting some more energy into that tonight. So I really would like to launch it tomorrow. Give everybody a chance. Although I feel like I'm not going to be able to fulfill all the... Well, I guess I still could. There's still a week or so left in the month, right? Here we go. So now, okay, I might have to zoom out a little bit, guys. I'm sorry. Just because I don't feel like you're going to see everything as I'm doing it. All right. So this is overlapping. I don't want to draw over the flower. I'm going to kind of... This would be the squirting flower, of course. Thank you, Devante. I appreciate that, man. And this is fun, man. If you guys are, you don't need to listen to the Olympics. You can come watch me here on YouTube on your phones or whatever and watch the Olympics on somewhere else. Or if you want to, watch a show or your family's watching something and you're like, I don't want to watch The Biggest Loser. I just want to watch this loser drawing stuff. Then come on over. I'm also a large man, but I'm not losing weight right now. So if you want to watch something other than people feeling sad with themselves, then go for it. Mr. Spurlock says, do you push through a drawing or sketch? What's going on here? Yeah, I'm just kidding, guys. And you're not a loser. Thank you very much, David. Do you push through a drawing or sketch you've done, like or scrap or start? I get held back a lot, but some idea of perfection every time, obviously unattainable. Yeah, I would say that happens sometimes, but I've learned, over the years, man, it's like you can't really fall apart over art like that, you have to kind of, sometimes it is what it is. I mean, I have rarely had a problem. I think I did a commission recently where I did some artwork and it got really rough. It was hard to maintain it and it fell apart on me. I think I spilled some ink on it and it was like, okay, let's start over. And sometimes it's easier to start over. Whatever you put, energy you put into, or education or whatever, into building that piece of art, it can be done again. Don't sweat it. But at the same time, I would say that you want to be able to give yourself an opportunity to say, hey, if you can finish this, take the lumps and keep moving forward. You know, like I told my daughter today, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Well, it goes into this as well. Sometimes you make a mistake, and if you can't fix it with Copic white or whatever you use to cover a mistake, then try to incorporate that problem. It's really a matter of problem solving skills and critical thinking. Once you're able to kind of see the problem, you can kind of move in and adjust for it. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right, so I feel pretty good about this Joker. I probably need to go too far, much farther than this. I could probably draw these lines with my brush, but for the sake of time and technique and accuracy, I'm going to just grab my a Micron pen. And where do I have one of those? I seem to be missing them from this set. Where's my other set at? Let's try a number. Let's try number 2 Micron. Thank you, Darren. I appreciate that, man. So I'm just kind of I'm using a different tool that has a different language to do a different part of the art. That's an important thing to do from time to time. And if you have to touch up with some stuff, don't worry about it. Okay. I'm gonna let everybody know it's not gonna be a comic book as you kind of know it. It's gonna be a I'm doing it digitally on Webtoons. I'm not gonna be producing a comic. Now, for those of you who might be interested in following me on Patreon, there is something similar. I'm basically gonna use the Patreon to I'm gonna use some of the creation of the comic to bring content to my Patreon. I'm also gonna be doing a sketchbook. Every month, if you subscribe to my Patreon, one of the levels is going to be a sketchbook, a digital sketchbook, okay? You'll get a PDF and you get to enjoy the PDF. If you skip that month, then you don't get that month PDF. However, at the end of the year, I'm planning to do a Kickstarter for all the months of the sketchbook. I'm going to have to actually catch up because I haven't put one together in a while or yet. So it is what it is. But if you guys are interested in that sort of thing, you'll be able to see that. All right, let's go to Batman Beyond. I'm going to switch over to my Micron because he's a little more mechanical, and I want to be thoughtful about that. He's not as organic as, say, the Joker, so I'm going to kind of come in here with some fast lines just to create an edge on the. If I want livelier lines, I use my brush. If I want something that's more a little dead, even though I like to keep it natural looking like this, I kind of put little extra pieces on. I still like, it's like a flat thing, right? Okay, so a little more mechanical is what I'm trying to get at. Okay. Darren, no problem. Okay, Patreon is like a Kickstarter in that it provides an opportunity to kind of promote the support of the creator of any given project. But unlike Kickstarter, with Kickstarter has all its tiers, so does Patreon. If you subscribe at this amount per month, there's going to be a certain reward for that. And if you do it, then you get this and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. However, Kickstarter is designed to launch a project or like a book or a musical composition or whatever, or a game or something of that nature. And if that's what you're producing and promoting, then at the end of that campaign, you get, the people that have contributed to that, invested in that particular project, they get some sort of reward. So if you're producing a game, maybe you get that game, like the Battle Chasers game from Joe Madureira was done on Kickstarter through those guys. Is it Airship Syndicate? That's what it's called. And they were able to produce that. But on Patreon, however, it's more perpetual. You're not supporting for a particular project necessarily, as it is. You're kind of just getting in there with trying to push a support for the creator. So there will be rewards. It's just not going to be a finished project. It's an ongoing project for me. If that makes any sense. And they're going to be different tiers. Some of the sketchbook tier, I think, is going to be $10. And if you get the $10 tier, everything underneath that, there's a $1 tier, a $2 tier, a $5 tier. You get all those as well. So if you're into art, one of the things I'm going to be providing, learning, are the Photoshop documents, because I'm working on Jerkmonger digitally. So if you're into that kind of thing, you'll get those files with the layers and what have you, for whatever the finished piece is going to be. All right. So now that I've done most of this mechanical stuff, let me see what else I can do here. All right, let's hustle over to his arm. Does his arm have anything special about it? I don't know. Looks like he's got something going on. These crazy youngster comics. No, that's not what I wanted. Let's try again. Batman Beyond. There you go. Images. And there's a new version of him. I'm trying to look at how he's got some interesting lines in his costume. Oh, well, maybe I'm not going to be able to check it all out here. But anyway, we'll keep it simple for the most part. Oh, that's what he has there. Oh, he's got some cool little knife things. Ooh, fancy. It's fancy schmancy. Look how this is turning out. It looks like a comic book cover. Well, thanks, man. That's the idea. I want to give you guys something more to look at, and I'm putting the same effort I would put into a comic cover into these illustrations and my commissions. So that helps. There are different levels of commissions that I do. Some of them have different looks, but for the most part, would be considered what I call cover quality or gallery edition, if you will, because I'm using techniques that'll make more sense, when you see it framed up with a black stroke around the art, what have you. I could have done all these lines with a brush, but they would have been a little more alive than I want. I want him to feel a little more technical, although it's perfectly legitimate to do something with him more organic. So all right, so like I said, I feel funny not having music playing in the background, but I don't want to breach the agreement here on YouTube. All right, let's go from here. I am going to use a brush for these other shapes. Yeah, you can't. You can't supposed to play music here on YouTube. Not if you want it to be considered for monetization. So be that as it may. Oh, that's a cool drawing of Batman Beyond and Spider-Man 2099. Ooh, that's really cool. All right, let's try this. See what comes out. One of the things I do sometimes, if the brush starts to get a little dry and it gives me too many Sumi brush line type concepts, I try to. One of the things I do is I'll add a little water. I'll dip the brush tip into water and I'll try to like draw out the water. Not draw it out, but like draw with the water in the brush and then it flows with black again. That's a helpful situation if you use these sorts of brushes. Does YouTube block me out if I sing the song? I don't know. I know Twitch used to do that. Twitch would block out the sound from a video. And I've been noticing that too on some of the other videos I used to watch. Oh, this soundtrack's on here. That's cool. I used to always wonder, how did you get it posted on there? Sure enough, not supposed to be there. Did you get some new art supplies? I have gotten some new art supplies. I'm going to start doing, Chaz, thank you by the way, for coming on board. I'm going to be doing more tool reviews, art tool reviews. So that might be what you were looking at, was a review I did there. I bought some pencils recently. And the pencils are cool, but it's the same problem I have. Like I don't like drawing with those anymore. I got to figure out a way though, because I don't want my review of the tool to be based on my particular. I'm going to be biased regardless, but I like to be as objective as possible. I really aim to be as objective as possible. I have a New York thing where I talk really fast, still to this day, even though I've been living in Tampa forever, but I still struggle with that. So bear with me, guys. What I'm kind of doing here is I'm kind of just going all over the place, frankly, with some of these shades, shadows, and stuff, but still kind of following the general contour of the character, not wanting to betray his look ultimately. Notice that I didn't draw all these little shapes, but as I'm moving along, sometimes I kind of go for what feels right. I'm still figuring things out here. Maybe I'm gonna come in here with some black, dip down to here. Sometimes it gets nerve-wracking, but I've done it enough where I have a good sense of where things should go, and I can like, okay, I can kind of see it go that way. I can see the shapes building up this way, whatever. How are the pencil grip things? Do you mean this right here? That stuff? That's just because I have arthritis. I've been struggling with that for many years now, since I was a younger artist. And I what I where I got this from was actually a I bought a kit to replace a chewed up my dog chewed up my Wacom stylus, the pen, and I had to buy some other parts for it. So I bought that and it came with that. So I don't use that because I like it doesn't have a hole for the button. So I thought, oh well, whatever. Well, one day I was trying to I was rummaging through my stuff and I said, man, I could really use something like this. I saw it. I said, man, I wonder if it'll work. And sure enough, it actually works pretty well if you're trying to do, you know. So I went over the pencil. It's just a graph gear. But most of my tools tend to have larger bases for itself. Like this right here, I'm holding it. It's pretty thick. So I don't actually have any problems with this. It's usually just like regular pencils. If you notice, I also hold my pencil very loosely, just because I know that that's what I want to go for. Here, I'm going to do this now. Get out of my way. Keep going. Keep going. Don't stop. Never stop. Maybe I'll use this shape that I drew here to kind of make a space for his jawline. Okay, so like I said, I've been saying for this last hour or so, yes, you have a light hand when it comes to drawing. Yeah, I do because I don't like to draw and erase too much. Or if I do, I hate erasing when it's like, oh man, I needed to, whatever, blah blah blah. I like giving myself a little bit of room for the pencils to come up easy enough if I need to make any adjustments. And so it works for me, if that makes sense. Okay, so I am inking this area here. Things are getting kind of funky. And if worse comes to worse, if it doesn't work out, as they say, when in doubt, black it out. So one of the things you can do, I'm not going to do it now because it seems to be working still. You could go through and say for something like this, just fill them all up with black and then come in with just some white lines. That's a way to do it. It's not exhibiting as much craft, but it's effective. And I think one of the things I've been saying for a while on Instagram, and I'll say it here now, is my mantra for this year, and this really shouldn't be a mantra for this year, it should be for all time. Use the right tool for the job. Darren says, I know this is a random question, but in Batman Beyond the TV show, Bruce had a dog. Did he always have a dog? In the old comics, he had a dog. It was Ace the Bat Hound. And he was kind of like a part of the history of Batman in a cheesy way, too. It wasn't like he wasn't regarded as a serious character. It was probably the time that Batman needed Robin to make him less angry. Kind of that era. Maybe a little later than that. So what was I saying here? I do hold the pencil higher. I also tried not to put as much pressure just in general. I don't like what's going on here, this weird space. I need to put something there. Maybe this doesn't need to be here either. That might help. But maybe, for that matter, see, when in doubt, black it out. It looks better. So I might come back with some other color, some other white shapes or what have you. Let's go ahead and bring this fully forward here. That's looking pretty good, actually. I'm excited. Shion says, have you seen Black Panther, Jerk Mark? Yes, I have. I have seen it. I have seen it. Have you seen it? Chill, bro. What's going on? You mean my black shades? Now, yeah, wait until my paycheck to go, but the trainers are lit. The trailers are lit. You mean? Yeah, it was good. I'm still processing it personally. I'm not sure exactly how I feel about it. Still thinking about it and trying to be thoughtful about it. I hate going into these movies all hyped up, even when it's something I really want to see. And I really wanted to see this movie too, but I felt like, golly, man, like nobody can say anything bad about it, and I'm looking for honest reviews and I can't find them. It's hard. So, and it's a very politically charged film, and that's not a bad thing, I guess, but it definitely has, if you're up for that, then you're going to have a great time. Even though I think it aimed not to be as political as it turned into, I just think that that's the nature of that subject matter. And I don't mean a black film, I mean in the sense that it's just in general. The political ramifications of all the discussion in that film. Very interesting. Yeah, I know. Yeah. And like I said, I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. I did not leave the theater hyped up though, like I have for other movies. I just like a different style of film. But again, I hesitate to say that because I feel like if you say that, then you get judged really fast anymore on the internet. So I'd rather just kind of keep my mouth shut. John Camp, you're a good YouTube movie reviewer guy. If you want honesty, he tells it like it is. Yeah, but David, I watch him. I do. I don't know, man. It's hard, man. It's hard. I don't know. It's like people were judging it already because it was such a triumphant film for the black community. And I agree with that too. But I don't want to leave my commentary or my review there. I want to be able to say, look at something, go, is it good? Is it really good? It had its problems. But then some of the problems that I keep hearing, I don't think are problems. It's so funny. I thought the pacing was really strong. I thought, the acting was great. The acting was great. I gotta say, I have to be emphatic about that. It was fantastic. I kept saying this too. It's a very well crafted film. Very well crafted film. But it may not be your film. Like it's, not my favorite, but it's starting to grow on me though. More and more I think about it, like, I like that part. I like that part. So it's been cool to think back at the movie as a whole and not feel oppressed to like something or not. That's a real thing though. I think that's unfortunate. My personal opinions, Darren says, I like the fact that it was a black movie, and I still don't like that the fact that it had white feelings. It just sends wrong message. It had white. I don't mean. What do you mean by that, Darren? It's amazing for visuals. The story itself was more 007 than Black Panther, I felt. That's not a bad assessment either, Joe. I like that. Spurlock says he does have something people like about him. I'll say that. I don't always agree for sure. Are you talking about my man? Where if you simply don't like the plot itself, then it means you're... I'm going to show that comment because I think it's important. Hold on. It's almost to the point where if you simply don't like the plot itself, that means you're a racist or extremist. You know, I unfortunately, I think that's part of my issue is I feel like people are afraid to critique it. And I'm not saying that it was a bad movie at all and that it deserves necessarily a negative critique. But it does create a lot of problems of honesty. That's all. And people don't feel like they can say something. That's more of a commentary on us as a culture. I think we need to be able to appreciate each other's opinions, even if they're not our own. But, that's going to get more and more challenging as the more life goes the way it's kind of going. So anyway, but I'm not trying to be too political. I want this to be an art thing and for me. And so in that regard, I want to judge it as a piece of art. And not as, is it an important film? Yeah, but that seems like it's part of everybody's commentary. And it's funny because there's been a lot of movies that have been kind of racial, but nobody talks about it in those terms. And even some sacred cows like Star Wars has a lot of racism in it, but to the people that are all about Star Wars, they don't talk about it. They never talk about it. And I think they're just as hardcore in there and strong thematically, but nobody will regard them that way. So I don't know how else to talk about it. But as I said earlier, I don't even want to talk about it sometimes because I feel like we're not on equal ground to discuss it. So I'd rather discuss things that we can agree on. Things like, what's good art? Is it a cool design? I mean, tons of great design in that movie. Tons. So much so that it got me kind of inspired thinking about tribal art. But not so hard, man, because it is a very Africa-centric film. And so it was really cool to kind of get that vibe in there. Let me see. Yeah, that's why I don't necessarily like some black comics that are going on, because he always throws jabs at white people making white villains. That's not a good message. I think that's true. I think it's true. If you want equality and you want peace, I don't think the way to do it is it's our turn to go at you. I get it, man. Growing up in New York City, being a part of the community where we all existed together, we got it, man. I grew up in the hood like everybody else grew up in the hood, and it was a tough time for a lot of us. But in general, I prefer thinking about. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll offer this up, and this is no spoiler review. Okay, this is no spoilers. Please do not spoil that movie. Please do not spoil that movie. I don't want anybody to be spoiled. I think it's a good movie. Everyone should see it. One of the things I frustrate about, though, it has nothing to do with all the politics stuff. It's just this technology thing, man. Do you guys really think the technology seemed like something that was even possible on Earth yet? Did it seem like did the vibranium rock that fell from the sky come with instructions on how to make spaceships and stuff? That just seems weird to me. For an Earth-based film, I should say. Let's see. Tony says, I felt the same. Total inspiration, lighting, texture, and all that. Yeah, it was cool stuff. I wasn't even sold at first on the purple in his costume in this movie, and then I like, oh, when they explained it, I was like, oh, okay. And I'm glad it wasn't there all the time because it would have drove me crazy. He also seemed really small in comparison to Civil War. Like he didn't seem like he was as filled out as a character. Maybe it's because of the CG. Let's talk about how you should put out tutorial videos set like David Vinch did. Haha, just you breaking down anatomy and creating dynamic poses. I thought about that, David. I thought about that. I don't know if it's. I will eventually on my site. I'm gonna have videos, or my store. I'm developing a web store as well. And we'll have some videos there. Let me see what else I have here. Marvel always overdoes things 10 years behind. I don't know if they're overdoing anything. I don't know. Like I said, it was a good movie. Enjoy it, guys. Darren says they just wanted to give a black character a very cool scenery, background, village, I guess. No, listen, the Africa thing's awesome. Everything's awesome. I'm just saying the technology is far-fetched to me. I don't care if she's the smartest woman in the world. Where did she get that design aesthetic? Just because you're smart doesn't mean you design for Pixar. Does that make sense? That's emotion expressions. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Mr. Spurlock, thank you very much. David, where are you from? All right, I also want to ask, how old are you? Because your name sounds like someone else I know. Maybe you are who I think you are. Come out of the shadows, David. Who are you? So, let's see here. Also, as far as the film is concerned, keeping this to yourselves, guys, there's some of the technology they introduce. I don't. How is it going to affect everybody? I guess you got to watch this movie to see, but it's going to have some kind of impact, right? On the whole Earth? Like, how's that going to work? I'm curious. Curious to see what everybody thinks when the time comes, but we won't talk about that yet. We'll do one of these days. What I'll do is one of these live sessions, we'll do a live spoiler situation. I'll label it spoiler, and everybody can talk about it that way. 31 has some art on Instagram, so maybe you've seen me like your stuff or seen that. Yeah, I think I have, but can we talk about the Defenders should join the main MCU already? Should they? Mr. Pritchard says, well, they'll probably have to register it to S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know, man. I don't know. I kind of like the fact, and this is one of the comments. It's funny. I heard people complaining. I don't know if it was a complaint. I think it was a commentary. It was someone reviewing the trailer for Wasp and the Ant-Man and the Wasp, whatever. And they were saying that they felt like these movies were filler movies. And I thought, yeah, that's probably a good assessment, but I don't think that's a problem for me because I really don't like. I'm gonna get rid of this nose. This looks stupid. I really don't like. I don't always need. I appreciate the smaller films, the smaller stories, and I feel like Netflix provides smaller stories for people like me that don't need everything to be locked into. It's like reading. It's like in the comics. If you could read Daredevil and he has his own problems, and whatever, and then you can read Secret Wars, and he doesn't have to exist in both. Wants to take over the land. Maybe. I don't know. No, I think Thanos is definitely going to be looking for the stones. I think the vibranium would be equivalent of bronze versus steel. How big of a technological advantage does being able to create one make? I get that, Joe. My question is, though, how weird does that make the Earth in that case? Are we ready for a Star Wars Earth? Speaking of Star Wars, I liked Solo, the Solo trailer. Why is that getting so much hate? I don't understand. All right, this is kind of an interesting Batman Beyond. Not my favorite idea of approach to it. Maybe I went about it a little awkwardly, but I like it. You know what? Get rid of it. When in doubt, black it out. This too. Don't like that either. Your favorite episode was 5? Yeah, I liked I like the other one too. I like the first the Rogue One a lot. Fanboys can't let go. That's all. I like it too. Anything with Chewie, I'm here. I'm there. Tony, that's cool. How do you feel about the Negan versus Joker? I didn't know they were fighting. Pritchard, haven't seen the Solo trailer, but I don't understand why people can't live by the old adage, never judge a book by its cover. Maybe, but I will say this though, Star Wars has been doing a lot of misses lately though. I've not been crazy about those movies. I had fun with them enough, but I don't care much for what they're delivering in general. So I'm only judging that, and then I can say from there I'm a little suspicious when they take a while to produce a film and it has a lot of changes and challenges. I'm not sure that it used to be Star Wars was so solid. Even though I didn't like the prequels too much, I felt like they still felt like they still had the same, at least an aesthetic that I could get behind as a Star Wars film was concerned. But I feel like these new ones, they're kind of funky. Let's see. That Last Jedi. Yeah. Joker was crazier than Negan. Yeah, I don't understand the debate about the Negan Joker thing. I don't get that. Did they ever make a Black Widow movie? I heard they talk about a Black Widow movie. I feel like it's a little late now. And I just saw a trailer. Okay, so here's another thing. I just saw a trailer for a movie. This is when I went to go see Black Panther with J-Law. What's her name? Jennifer Lawrence. Where she is called Sparrow or something like that. Oh man, that's the Black Widow story. They can't make any Black Widow story now because that's the best idea put out by that concept. It has all the same ideas of what they presented in Winter Soldier or whatever they went through and discussed her background. Or was it Ultron? I don't remember. But it's like, man, that's it right there. You don't need anything else. So I don't know how they're going to handle that. Noble says, I feel like since they're already putting everyone and their mother in it, they might as well put the Defenders in there. And Solo looks like it's going to be good. Cool. Kapow! Oh my goodness. I thought it was the wrong place, but for a second, with all the insightful movie commentary, maybe you missed your calling, bro. Michael says, I feel the success of that movie is going to fall on the new Han's performance. Chaz says, because no one can replace the actors. Darren says, what about Captain Marvel? I think she's going to be in one of the Marvel movies. Yeah, she's got her own Marvel movie coming up. I'm fine with her. It's the idea of Black Widow. I don't know where they're going to put how they're doing a movie that basically is Black Widow's origin, and looks like it's going to be better than what Disney could put out right now. So as far as that character is concerned, but thank you, Shion. I appreciate that, man. Mike says, is the aesthetic you're talking about more or less there was a singular voice behind the universe? Now it just seems like plugging in too many voices. I think that's what it is. Yeah, it's really more about, and that's an important thing. Like it's like doing a jam piece. You do a jam piece because you want different people's take on your characters, what have you. But if it's too different, it could actually bog down the look of everything. I don't know. I feel that way. But some people like having, for example, if I did a jam piece of the Hulk, I would say, I would probably get a Del Keown Hulk. Or I actually would get everybody's take on Hulk. But if you have someone's take on Hulk is different from, say, who's another artist? Del Keown or Eric Larson. Like if Eric Larson did Betty Ross, I don't know. I would just, that to me would not be as fun of a jam piece. But some people find out great, you know. I think for a comic, it's a bad idea for a story to have multiple voices. And because the saga films are considered a single story, then, or at least primarily, I mean, let me ask you guys this question. Is it going to be a, Shion says Sparrow is Black Widow. I know, that's what I'm saying. If you could do a jam piece, who would you do it with and why? Yeah, Sparrow's and Black Widow. Marvel dragged their feet and now it's too late. I agree, Tony. Sparrow is Black Widow. Everybody's saying the same thing. Marvel should sue. What are your thoughts on the Venom movie? Yeah, I'm excited about that. I think I like that actor, man, and I'm not crazy about Venom as a character. I don't go like, oh my gosh, it's Venom. Oh, I gotta get every figure. But I like the character. I like drawing him from time to time. He's, you know, he's a little annoying the way people tend to like him, but all right. So is my camera still rolling? All right, so I am going to move on now. I feel like that's a decent look for Batman Beyond. What do you guys say? Sorry, I'm more a manga person, says Shion. Not too much into American comics. No worries, man. We accept everybody in this channel. Tony Clark, if you could do a jam piece, what would you do it with? I don't know. I don't know. Whoever. I just get paid for stuff. I just do it. I don't like when people put their agendas in famous movies like Star Wars. Yeah, there's that. There's that. And that's the problem now, isn't it? I don't know. We'll see. Darren, which Venom is it that Agent Venom, and is it Venom with Spider-Man, if that makes sense? I don't know. They didn't show any real pictures. Shion says, nice. Michael says, I'd rather Tom Hardy as Wolverine, but Venom is sure. Why not? Yeah, he'd be a good Wolverine. Dig it. Keep it rolling. All right, cool. So we're going to move on from this character. What I might do here, let me do something. I just stuttered in such a way that it sounded like I was digitally talking fast. That's better. I like that idea there than trying to get the whole nose in there. All right. The Venom movie is based on Lethal Protector series. It takes place after beef with Spidey. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel we haven't really seen him properly against Spidey in any of the movies yet. Not properly, at least. How are we going to do that? I don't know. You know, I don't like this nonsense in here. How does that work? That'll work. For a while, Batman Beyond looked like he had a mustache. Shion says, this is making me want to whip out my sketchbook again, man. The Temptation. Go ahead, dog. Do it. Darren says, oh, okay. I love the abruptness of that response. Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to do something real quick, guys. I don't normally do this, but because I want to keep this going, I'm going to blast this with some heat. Try to dry it out. Who is Aaron Paul? Who's Sam Worthington? I don't know who these people are. How do you feel about the scary direction of the mutants? Mike, bro, seriously, I love it. I love it. I think that's a great way to go with the mutants. I think, you know, my biggest problem with mutants since I was a kid. Sorry, was that loud? Sorry. My biggest problem with the mutants or mutants in general, since I was a kid, was oh, sorry, Chris. I won't do that no more. Sorry about that. I've always thought that mutants had a very odd argument. I've always thought that. Let me make sure that I keep you guys involved in my drawing here, because I'm drawing off site here. I can't see very well what's going on here on my camera. There you go. Let's see. Wow, that just freedom. Vibranium versus adamantium, which is stronger? Isn't adamantium from a combination of vibranium? Or are they two different metals? I don't remember. So my issue with the mutants has always been that the mutants are whiny babies. I always thought that because they look too attractive to be affected. Oh, you know what? I know what's going on. Oops. I'm about to lose all of you guys. Hold on. Oh, snap. I forgot to bring my charger. Oh, snap. All right, I'll be right back, guys. Hold on. Da, 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 da. All right. I wonder why my screen was so dark. Oh no. Did I lose you all? Hold on. This is what happens when you are an amateur. Oh no. Wrong way. Ah, that's much better. Okay. Hopefully it won't die in the process. I've been on for too long. Well, it's been going. All right. What was I saying? What's the young guy from Breaking Bad? Oh. Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad. Let's see. Darren Field, I think you're two different metals, but they can cancel each other out. And remember in the episode of TV on Wolverine tried to cut Captain America's shield, but it was Vibranium. Captain America should throw his shield through Wolverine, really? Wow, you guys are getting deep. So my problem with the mutants is just that they've been kind of whiny, and there's no reason for me to be afraid of them. They're all handsome. They're all good looking. They just never made sense to me. So now, as when someone like on Fox is saying, hey, let's make these guys scared. Oh, God, that's awesome, man. So anyway, well, I know, and again, I like this. I love those characters. I love Wolverine. I grew up with those guys, but I just feel like they're always complaining, and they all got six packs and bikini bodies and whatever. Shut up, Jean Grey. Why are you always crying? But then Scott, oh, if you guys have ever heard me, this is my rant in general. I'm Scott. Everybody hates me because I have these cool red glasses and I can fly an airplane at 16. Shut up. I don't want to hear it, Cyclops. You lying liar that lies at midnight. So yeah, I don't like them. But the idea of making them scary, like that's cool. And that makes me like, oh my gosh, it is kind of crazy. It's kind of like Christine or not Christine. What was that movie with Sissy Spacek? When the girl goes to prom and she's got the powers and everybody's scared of her. That's how it should be. That's the X-Men in real life. That makes me happy because now it's a genre again, not trying to be superheroes. Like Wolverine should be scary, not all like, I'm a hero. And I loved Logan all the way up until they cut his beard off. That Carrie. That's it. Thank you, Chris. All the way up till they shaved his beard. And then I was like, oh, I forgot. It's a Bryan Singer film. Man. I always thought The Brood was one of the better story arcs for X-Men. Yeah, man. Yeah. And I love the idea that they're talking about something similar. That one, was it 175? I think. The one with Kitty and I always thought it was a Brood guy, but I'm clearly wrong. Kitty and that monster. If they do that as a movie, man, that'd be dope. That'd be awesome. So that's what I mean by these quiet stories. They don't have to be earth-shattering, cosmic bending stories. It's okay to do them from time to time like that. I love all of them. I love all of them, but every once in a while, I like a good one that's small too, which goes back to my commentary about Daredevil and the Netflix shows. When I watched the X-Men, says first, X-Men movie. When I watched the X-Men movie, Scott got taken out way too early in the movie when he was trying to talk to Jean. Yeah, well, you're talking about the X-Men 3, I think it was. Not X-Men 2 Electric Boogaloo, right? I'm going to switch tools, y'all, because Batman's much larger, and I don't need to ink him like with a pen. The movies were rough to watch. I want to ink him with this brush. I keep a tube of Voss bottle tubes with water. Yeah, I can't watch those movies so much now. I don't like them. Oh man, I got ink all over my hands. Be careful, it's pretty sneaky, sis. Yeah, sometimes the movies are difficult to watch anymore because there's so much technology already past that, and even better ways to tell those stories. Let me just tighten up my brush a little bit. Maybe I'll go here. This thing has like a forked tongue at the end of this tip. This brush has been sufficiently destroyed. I need to get a new one. Not completely a new one, but a better one than this. All right, I slowed down there for a second. Man, you guys are intense about adamantium and other stuff. It's crazy. Okay, so this is getting a little too heavy here. I think I'm gonna just black that out. This brush may be a little too productive. Let me switch this out. Sorry, guys. It's a good brush. It's just I think I've used it in a abusive sort of way in the past, and so now it's not cooperating with me. I have to kind of just wipe my hands so I don't touch this with inky hands and get it all dirty. Okay, let's switch to a different tool. Still in the same vein as that. These are the Pentel brushes that I use from time to time. This one will work. I remember you said something about arthritis. Do you have to take medicine? Yeah, I pretty much just take ibuprofen. That's all. It's pretty much the medicine I need. It's just inflammation in the joints. So this helps. Look how inky my hands got. I just wiped them. Oh, because of the caps and stuff. That's a liver killer, though. It can be. I don't take it often, though. Just when I really need it. Darren, does it make your hands shaky or something? I remember episode Sons of Anarchy. I think if it hurts a lot, you can have a hard time gripping objects. Sometimes I feel like my it's hard to make a fist or hold something tightly, if that makes sense. Let's see here. Okay, so now you can see I'm just kind of going something that has a little more. Actually, truth be told, this brush isn't that different from the one I was using, but it is different enough to kind of loads the ink a little faster, getting some opportunities for things like that. That's what happened in the episode. It was hard for him to ride his bike, and if he couldn't hold on, he was kicked off the biker gang. Oh, yeah. I could totally see that. I used to ride a motorcycle as well. It's just hard. It's just hard to grip. It feels like I'm gripping marshmallows or something in my hands. So the technique I'm gonna do with Batman's a little more closer to the way what I did here with Joker. It's just basically a rougher, organic approach. Okay. Let's see. You guys didn't hear me yelling at my son. He's taking a shower. Get out. I have my charger in my bathroom. I was taking a shower earlier. Trying to charge my phone for this event. And I left it there. He's like, what? I said, get out. I need the shower. I need the cord. All right. So you can see I'm hesitating because I have, looks like ink is still drying there. And yes, it is still drying at the bottom. So I got to be very careful. What I might do is just dab it now and let it dry easier than where it's at. It's not much, but it's just enough to interrupt my flow. All right. Let's I'm going to turn this upside down, so don't freak out, guys. It's just me trying a different angle because I'm the dummy that inked on the right side when I'm a right-handed artist. So now I have to kind of adjust. So don't do that. It's bad. Okay, yeah, I'm even gonna soak this up a little bit too, so it dries a little easier. Let's see. Spurlock says, do you do daily sketches? It says habit. When you get sketch for fun, do you focus on any specific themes or just whatever comes? Lately, I've been doing this will be an example. This is for fun right here. This is going to be the giveaway for my inaugural video here with live video with you guys. But it's going to be, it's mostly going to be commission work that I get. That's what I'll be using YouTube for. I won't freak out. I'll just do a handstand instead. You silly rabbit. Okay, so I'm going to have to come in a little differently with if I go heavy with black, but I think I want to keep him black because Batman Beyond is supposed to be a darker themed character too. So I'm going to keep this him a little brighter. Speaking of Batman. And this gives you kind of a taste on how I handle my commissions. You guys are interested in that sort of thing, you be sure to contact me. Thoreau the Kid, what's going on, man? I like that this is uninterrupted. I like we can have this feed going and the stream, and I don't have to stop to You know, the hour's up and I got to keep moving. You know, this is cool. I like this a lot. And I appreciate all you guys coming out. I did a Facebook Live once and I had like 6 people join. It was so hilarious. And for like a good 10 minutes, it was just me talking to myself. Hey, so just in case this lasts long. Oh, it was great. Oh, maybe it's just going to go black, I guess. Sometimes you do things that create challenges that, oh, well, I planned one thing, but now I guess I'm going to do another thing. So earlier in the video, you guys heard me talk about, yeah, man, me too. Like, I like the fact that we can talk about stuff and there's no hatred. It's just opinions. Everyone can voice their own opinion. Yeah, sure. I'm thinking more about the timing and the interruptions of stuff. But yeah, I agree with that too. As far as earlier, I was talking a lot about contrast as the vehicle for beauty, and this is kind of a great place to kind of bring that conversation back again. Notice how I have some shapes coming in, some shapes going out. You know, I play with those directional cues in the character to help, especially in Batman, since he's wearing a mask, you know, and the majority of the time when he wears this mask, he's going to be mostly in black, right? So for me, sometimes I'm able to kind of keep things rolling for me visually by having contrasting perspective or angles on my strokes. And that's super important, especially with Batman. Like here I have a shadow, so you know if my shadow's here, I don't want to black this out too much, especially when I blacked out this area for for shadow's sake. So it also helps build up Batman on this side, which I might just come in here and round them out more. So what I'll do now is I'll start to kind of drag some tones and value into this area, but leaving it generally white. Understand? So now when I come in here, there's some cool things happening. Like right here, I might throw in a little black shadow. Right in here, very Bob Rossian. Happy trees, happy shadows. Right? Darren says, I can still read your kind in black and white color. It can be either both to me. Gotcha. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. So it's important that this here is set up to go against the white of his skin, right? The white area, the negative space that's I'm using for skin value. And I come in here, and I can go this way. And there you have a good situation. Okay, so this is way too bright. Again, it's up against, sometimes if you have too much bright against the white here, bright against bright, it kind of affects it the same way of having black against black. So it's good to have them working together. Does that make sense? But I still have to be thoughtful that I don't put too much black against this black, right? So it disappears. I want to keep it as visual as possible. In fact, I might just get rid of that line because it looks like it's creating an extra layer of interest that's not as interesting. So even something like that's helpful. Okay. I'm giving you guys my goods, man. This is all the secret sauce stuff here. I hope you guys appreciate it. Use it, for crying out loud. All right. So I think I'm also going to add a little bit of a cleft, not a cleft, but a shelf under his chin there. Do you have a good barbecue sauce recipe? Silly rabbit. I use it a lot in my tattoo designs. It may look way better just by watching you. Right on, man. Good job. Glad it could help. All right, so I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to ink this spot here. And then, this is going to be fancy right here. Because I tend to do this whole, the cowl, how it has that mid double lighting on the sides to kind of create that shadow on the other edge. I'm going to do that here, but I'm just kind of, usually I just trail it from the ears, but there's not enough room there. So I'm going to bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Happy trees, happy shadows. And then, bam! You're going to see this come to life. Chris says, have seen the Marvel Way on VHS? Is there going to be a manga one? Eventually, I'm going to have videos, educational videos directly, more specific videos, I should say, on my, available on a store, whether it's on eBay or on the website. I think I'm going to try to get the website going sooner than later, after all. But it will, Laserdisc. Why Laserdisc? Well, that makes no sense. Why would I ever do that? Come on, I'm not that old. What are you trying to say, Mike? What are you trying to say? Okay. All right. Well, guys, it's almost done. And I guess this is coming close to the time where I'm going to start the giveaway process. Do you collect statues like Sideshow? I don't. I can't afford a lot of those, man. So I do collect some, like the Batman black and whites. I love those, and I have a couple of extra pieces here. I have some Bowens and stuff like that, but they're just really pricey. As much as I love them, I'd love to get more of them, but those can be challenging. And my kids can't eat statues, right? So I gotta help them out. Have you been checking out any working artists' work of late? Some of the new guns? Not really. No, I'm not. I don't read comics much anymore. I just don't like them as much as I used to. Okay. So having a white edge on the back of Batman Beyond, you see, can be important. Because now I can butt up against that white edge some black to really fill them out. And this will also go here and behind the Joker, his shoulder, to create a little bit of a backdrop for him. He's very open and white compared to Batman. just going to keep inking up against Batman there. So the Joker is a lot more solid in that space. Alexander says, just figured out how to comment on the live video. Nice. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. Thanks for hanging out, man. You've probably been frustrating. No, vibranium. No, adamantium. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, bro. All right, so I feel like I left this weird eye thing. What do you guys think about leaving the eye just the way it is for Joker? But this feels good, though. This feels real good. I don't think I can zoom out further, I think. I guess I can't go much further than that. And I'll turn it like this. You can see the majority of the image. I might have to take this a little higher so we can see it better, but we'll see how that goes. All right. So let me do a little few other touches that I think I want to see here. I like Batman to have a shoulder more than just a neck, a giant neck. And then what I like to do as well, and I'm going to do it with this. Nope, not with that. With this. I'm going to use this. Let me first fan this and dry it out a little bit. I think I want to use this as the border. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab my trusty pen. I'm going to grab my number 8. And just going to kind of eyeball it. I'm going to eyeball it this way, I think. Oh, maybe like this. I don't know. I guess this will work. All right, this is an easy way of doing it versus trying to do it with a oh no, this might not be a good idea after all. That's not going to be so hot, but okay, that'll work for now. This is not a good idea, but there you go. Okay, what'd you guys say? I don't see anything wrong, bro. Says Darren. I've been playing around with the traditional screen tones lately and fun. Plus, the results are good. Oh, right on. But it's time consuming. It is. It is. All right. Saucy border. That's funny. Oh my gosh. Are you planning to add any color? I don't know. I don't want to because I already put some time into this, but I feel like if red went into Batman Beyond, that wouldn't be a bad thing, right? A1 sauce. I'm just going to use this thing here to paint this in. I don't use markers. I don't like them. Say no to Copic. Just say no. Here we go. Have I ever used Copic markers? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Don't care for them. Okay. That'll work. That'll work. I feel like the Joker needs some irises, right? So I'm just gonna do this. Small pupils and iris, whatever, works really well to make a guy look crazy. All right, and then to top it all off, a signature. What do you guys think? Let's see if I can raise this up a little bit higher. Yeah, it works. Yeah, no, maybe so, sorta, not really. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just record everyone that's been on here. If you guys have been on here and you've been watching, I appreciate it. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to do an auction. It's going to be basically what do you call it? What do you call this? Oh gosh, I can't think. I'm trying to clean my fingers while I do this. Come on, help me out here, guys. What am I talking about? Giveaway, giveaway, whatever, yeah. That. All right, so, oh, you know what? Joker can get some red. Hold on a second. I just remember it. Here we go. Give me a sloppy smile. All right, so what qualifies you to be in the giveaway, gosh, there's a better word for this. I'm looking for it. Not an auction. What's it called? It's a raffle, I guess, as you can call it. All right, there you go. What qualifies you to be in the raffle is that you have to be here to the end, and you're here, so awesome. Some of you came in a little bit later. It doesn't matter. I don't hold that against anybody. Thanks for coming by. I really appreciate it. And as I said, this will be on my dime. Maybe his smile goes higher. Does it appear up on there like it doesn't? What's that? Cool, bro. Nice. What do you mean, Darren? Does it appear on there like it does on Instagram? No, I didn't do a combined. I've done that before with other things like on Twitch and whatever. I'm doing this is just here on YouTube. So if you didn't get it on, if you didn't jump on, this would have been the thing you could have gotten for or been participating in. Yeah, I like these. This red on here is nice for Joker. I don't know for sure. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask you guys to jump on real quick. I'm going to record everybody's name on a separate sheet of paper. I think I'll just use my notebook. And yeah, I guess if you want to be entered in for this, let me know. I'll tell you guys what. Let's do it smarter than that. Because that'll take me forever and waste your guys' time. If you want, you can. Where did my pen go? Okay, cool. So go ahead and hit me up if you want to. you can reach me. Go ahead and message me here in the bottom. That's it. If you want to be part of this, message me on the bottom. There you go. That's easy enough. In the commentary section, is there a comment section for this? Maybe if I go post it to a regular video, and then from there, if that happens, let's see. I think we're gonna be okay. Yeah, right now. Okay. So go ahead and like my video if you like. If you liked this situation here, awesome. And go ahead and when I post it in a moment to regular YouTube life, then go ahead and comment underneath it. Tell me you were here and you loved it, and it has to be for tonight. So if anybody posts something tomorrow, you're not going to see it. You're not going to get credit towards that, and I'll announce it tomorrow to everybody on Instagram and here. All right. So go ahead and just get ready for the gun show and prepare your souls for destruction. Peace out, y'all.